Everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Wednesday morning. Pretty dreary here in Ontario, Canada. Rain all day. Just so you know, if you're a new listener or a viewer, that's where we're from, Ontario, Canada, where we do the shows in the summertime. And we've got a new sponsor to talk about before we get on to the NBA here. And Joey, tell us who they are, and they do some pretty cool products.
Yeah, benshot.com is their website, but go to our website, ultimatesportschannel.com, get the link. They'll give you 10% off anything you purchase. There's these cool beer glasses, coffee mugs, etc. And you can get kind of basically what it is anything shooting the glass. So you get a golf ball, a bullet, an arrow type thing, and it's very, very cool. They're very popular products. I know the golf one is very cool to me.
Yeah,
I think I might get one. It's awesome. It's just so cool looking actually how they do it. It's really awesome, and the bullet going in the glass is cool too. Reminds me of every action movie I've ever seen.
And we're keeping everything
very awesome.
We're keeping everything on one page. Where to watch us is the page on the website. We also have updated the website and put it now complete sports feed. So you can just go to our channel, see all the sports you want to see for the day, all the recaps. We'll be talking about some of them. Obviously not all of them. There's tons of stuff going on in sports world, as we all know. But you'll get a chance to see all the sports that are happening in the world. You'll be able to go to one page, see all the locations where we either have our audio podcast or video, and all of our sponsors. So make it nice and simple for you, one place to go and pick up all that information. So welcome aboard for our new sponsor. And we're getting to, NBA. Are we ever going to run out?
I'm tired of it.
We're getting to the end of the wild seasons of signings and free agents and how it's changing the world. This was not changing the world. This is a player staying with his team. Some debate on the signing and the value of this guy and will he ever live up to the money, Joey? That's really been the discussion.
Yeah, so Ben Simmons got a max deal, and they got kind of a three-headed monster there as far as I'm concerned. You got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris is very, very good. They got Al Horford this year, so more of a two-headed monster with a bunch of shooters surrounding them,
right?
Which is it's a good setup. It's a good lineup. If they can afford to keep the players they got around the two guys down low, as far as I'm concerned, go for it. They're not superstars. They're not changing your team. They're not, but they're very, very solid players for down low big men. And they're young, and they're both big men, which are kind of coming back in the NBA. And so if that allows you still though to keep the shooters around them, then I think it's a good play. It's a good pickup. It's a good signing. You lock him in. You gotta lock Embiid in soon.
Yeah.
And really, they're good enough in this Eastern Conference to be a Eastern Conference Finals team.
They took Raptors right to the last shot.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, they're really only gonna have to go up against Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm all for it. If it works with your roster, I think it's as important to keep players around these two as much as possible. But if you're gonna do that and you had the money to do that, keep them. Yeah, I mean, it's Philly. No offense. I don't think you're drawing many big free agents. I don't think you're trading him for much value anyway. So, yeah, I like it. It works for me as long as you can keep adding players around these two because they're not putting up 30 a night like a Steph Curry. Then they're very effective down low. And really, because they're so big and effective, you don't need all-star shooters. You kind of need what they got. An Al Horford, Tobias Harris. They had JJ Redick for a couple years. That's all you really need is simple three-point shooters like a Danny Green even. Those type of guys don't need a superstar. And the system works very, very well.
Yeah, and I think the big issue comes up, is going to come up in the NBA forever now, is that guy worth that money game in and game out? He's definitely not worth that money. But as you had mentioned, it's about signing your good guys for a long time now. I mean this free agent market is insane. Guys who shouldn't be making anywhere. He should be making half of what he's making. Guy averages 16 points a game. But he's young, and they're buying the future. And they're probably smart to do that. You don't want any of these guys getting free agency on their mind. It just is it's crazy to go out there. So they're going to keep him now, build around him.
Yeah.
Probably worth the money. As we said, and we've lived in Toronto, so we get to say this. Up until this year, not a lot of free agents are coming your way, and I don't think a lot of top guys are going to go live in Philly. So, we had the same issue here in Toronto for many years. Take guys who like playing there, take guys who will stay, and get them signed.
Yeah, and also, they're kind of banking on the fact that he's scoring 16 points and he can't shoot the ball.
Yeah.
He really only has, two things, brutal. Which is a hook shot and a dunk, and a layup. So, he's got nothing really outside the small area of the paint. So they're banking on him, hopefully developing a shot similar to Embiid, who can pull up for the three or the long twos. If you project that, that's very dangerous. That 16 easily goes to 30 points a game. And at that point, great deal. If you believe he's willing to put in the work, you can teach him how to shoot that jump shot, then go ahead. I think that's a great signing then. If you can hopefully look in the future and see that coming, because that 16 quickly turns to 30. And B can do what he does as long as he can stay healthy. Then that's a very effective lineup, very effective team, and a good duo going forward. So, yes, that's the way of the NBA. Big man learning to shoot. If he does that, then that money is very well spent. In the world we live in, obviously, I'm never going to say anybody deserves that kind of money to play a sport. But, sports bring in that much money, and that's why they get it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Good for them for being great advertisers, great marketing, making the league fun. It's very much a fan-friendly league. It's not about corporate or anything like that. Even the owners are always down, courtside, going nuts. So whatever they do, they make it work. So I guess the players deserve their cut of it. And congrats, Ben Simmons, on 5 years, like $190 million.
Yeah, it's we can't even argue value because it's nothing to do with how they play. It's about value in the team. We also learned that defense is as important as offense when the Raptors won the championship. I mean, it was our defense really that won a lot of those games. And so, you get a big man like this who can play the game. He's a tough guy, and he can protect. That's as valuable as what he can do on the offensive side. They're getting who they want. They're getting a guy willing to stay in the city, which is huge. We talked about it many times with Toronto. I think it's going to be a good pickup. They were so close last year. They don't really need to go and make a lot of changes. And they had a little piece there with Wolford
ultimately,
as well.
they got better. They got rid of Butler, who in my mind's a cancer to any dressing room. So they got better. They got rid of him, and they brought in Horford. But at the end of the day, they're looking at their conference and going, man, we were like doink, doink, doink from going on. Well, at least going to overtime. And now that team's gone. So what's changed?
What's stopping them?
Not enough to say that they need to move these guys. This team is good enough. Keep it the way it is. Keep adding veterans around these two. That this team can easily have a chance every year to go to the NBA Finals. And ultimately, you're only going to face the Greek Freak, which Simmons, I think, could guard, or Embiid could guard. More importantly, they have options to switch and kind of move players around to guard the Greek Freak. At least play big enough to cause them a little bit more issues than putting a smaller man on him. So, they got enough. They got enough, and that's what they're looking at. They're going to look at, hey, we're in Philly to begin with, and we got enough by our drafts. And arguably, these guys want to stay now because the city is embracing them. Like, once they saw Philly win the Super Bowl, all of a sudden, Philly came to sports town again. People are like, wow, look how much love they got for winning for this city. So now Philadelphia 76ers, same thing. You get Allen Iverson, all the vets there. When they were good back in the day, they all come support these guys now and watch them. And now they're a hot commodity in their city. So it's all kind of trying to work toward the right direction for Philly. And honestly, Donald's keep falling in the East, so they're eventually just going to be, I think, the team to beat.
Well, and you do play a little bit of a futures game, and that's
part of
that's what these owners have the money for. He could be a great signing 3 years from now when these free agents are getting $50 million a year. So we'll see how that all works out. But anyway, interesting signing. I think we're getting near the end. I think Chris Paul's the last one.
Chris Paul and I heard Kyle Lowry has been shopped. So that is a report. Don't know how. Only one person really reported on it, but it's reported that Masai is making calls about getting rid of his veterans. So we'll see what happens with the Raptors there. They're obviously planning for 2-3 years down the road when Durant's career is probably over with, because at best he's got 2 years when he comes back from injury. The Greek Freak, who knows what his development's going to be like. He'll also be a free agent, by the way, in 2 years. So that's also, I heard, a plan. But there is rumors that the Raptors might regroup here and get rid of their old guys, keep their young guys. We don't know yet. That's just one thing I heard. But yes, the big deal will be, where does Chris Paul go? Yeah. The rumor is Miami. Apparently they want a buttload, though. They're going to just hose any team that goes for Chris Paul, as they should, because at the end of the day, they don't care if they bury Chris Paul's career in OKC. Funny enough, people may not know this, he actually played for OKC like way back in his rookie in summer camp. Back in summer camp. So it's kind of funny. But I still think the team that they should call should be the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know what they're hesitating for.
Me neither,
They're best buddies. And if you're the Lakers, you don't care about your picks and your young guys.
They may not have anybody left to give, though.
They barely have enough players to start the season.
They traded so many away.
OKC it wants from Miami is like a player, maybe two, but like they want 2 or 3 picks.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm LA Lakers, who the hell cares at this point, man? You've committed to these next 2 years to win titles, so I don't understand why they're not calling. why OKC ain't answering. I don't know, but
Well,
all
they
it
may be
is
talking, but OKC wants a lot of picks, and LA doesn't have many left.
it's all I know. It's all about Miami because Miami does have that
Yeah.
option. So we'll see. I don't think Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler would work very well together anyway. So I mean, we'll see. One thing you're learning here, I feel like, is that you got to start being likable. You got to start being realistic about your abilities and about the teammate you want to be if you care about winning championships. Now, if you don't, then enjoy your 2 years in OKC being in last place and being 34 years old, never having a chance at a championship, Chris Paul. But if you cared about winning championships, what this is showing, you got to change your personality. You got to learn how to adapt with your teammates and learn that you may not be the best player anymore, despite what you were in the past.
Yeah.
And you should have learned that with James Harden, that you were not the man on that team. And now you're booted out. You're traded to OKC with nobody on your team. And good luck. Hopefully you get a spot because I tell you, dying in OKC with nobody there would not be fun for him.
He's going to get a spot. They don't want him. He doesn't want to be there. This was just a move to get the
But
other move to happen.
where's the spot? Where's the spot now? Are you, I don't know. Honestly, he might not even go. If Miami doesn't take him, the market's not big, guys.
The signing
they might OKC might bite the bullet based on how small the market is and just take a couple picks at some point. Because then I guess there is no point in burying him in your team either.
Yeah.
So there's no punishment really here, I guess, because it's not like he did anything to OKC. It's just the way the dominoes have fallen. But I would say, hey, couple picks, I just get rid of him at this point.
I think he'll go before the end of this summer for sure. We'll be back. It always seems we keep signing off the NBA. It always seems there's something there. So we'll be here to report it if it comes up. Ben Simmons, congratulations to you. I think Philly did make a good deal holding him in the city for 5 years, not having to deal with his free agency.
Learn how to shoot a jumper, though, man.
Yeah, how hard can it be?
You could be, man, one of the best in the world for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we'll be back anytime we hear something from the NBA.